Okay, what we need to do on the planet right now is expand consciousness. What are you doing to expand consciousness and awareness? Let me know in the comments. My name's Rebecca Abraxas. Today I'm talking about radical expansion of consciousness through radical presence. Thanks for joining me here. Be sure to click the bell and subscribe. We go live as a tribe every Friday. And you can pick the topics, and I do some live distant sound healing too. So be sure to comment and tell me what topic on awakening and ascension you would like covered. All right, beautiful being, let's dive in and remember our greatness and tune into some brilliant possibilities together, shall we? So radical presence, what am I talking about? Eckhart Tolle talks about presence, right? Talks about decreasing the pain body, living from the present moment. And that's what I'm talking about here today, is that radical presence means that we are willing to be present every moment. Now, I have a little tool that I'm going to tell you about in a few minutes that's really going to help us stay super present. But it's what's going to help us uncover this moment to moment awareness. How do we live by moment to moment awareness? Well, one is, as Eckhart Tolle talks about in The New Earth, is decreasing and working and processing and shifting and releasing our pain body. We have to shift the focus away from that pain body, right? The pain body is so seductive, that wounded ego, right? The pain body where we put our focus on worry and fear and not enough, right? And that we're going to be rejected and, oh, we have no power, we're powerless, right? All that is in the pain body, and all that is in the past. So if you truly were present, would any of that be active, right? Would any of that have your attention if you were super present? So how present do you need to be for that stuff not to dictate your life, right? So when we're living from all of that, we're living from past experience, right? We're living from a past experience of a news article. We're living of a past experience of our own experience of trauma. We're living a past belief system, a past experience. So to expand our consciousness, it's really important to have present moments without that stuff in it, right? There was one talk I listened to a long time ago, and he proposed this image. It was kind of interesting, where we have all our packed bags, right? Like thinking of baggage. There's all packed bags, and every moment, every 10, 17 seconds, we create a new reality. So you got your bags. Are you going to pull them into every 10 seconds? Or are you going to leave them there and let this 10 seconds be free of that? So this is the little tool I want to tell you about, and it's living in 10-second increments of your day. Now think about it. If you had 10 seconds left to live, what would you do? Would you drag that stuff into that 10 seconds and worry and perseverate on all that pain body stuff? Or would you finally in your life leave that there and say, I've got 10 seconds to live. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to listen to the birds. I'm going to look into the sun. I'm going to just appreciate and love for 10 more seconds. So this is the tool, guys. Can you live in 10-second increments? So now the next 10 seconds. Oh, now the next 10 seconds. As if you've started a new reality every 10 seconds. And you've started an aware and conscious reality, right? Which means that you're aware that you're not going to take that stuff in it, okay? So when you're willing to live in 10-second increments, you have a moment of pause and say, right? But if we just kind of keep fumbling in our day and not truly living presently, we keep pulling the baggages into every moment. What if you really could create a different reality every 10 seconds, every 17 seconds? I'm saying 10 and 17 because people have different discrepancies on that. But I'll just say 10 because that's what we're going to be practicing. So this super radical presence of being present every 10 seconds it starts to expand our consciousness, meaning that we start to peel away a little bit and we can look in. We can look in and be the seer of a reality rather than just being the reality. We peel away and we get to witness it. Okay. And that's what's happening on the planet right now. Okay. There's many people that are expanding consciousness and becoming seers of what's really happening. Okay. We're not kind of blinded, and we're not having our blinders on and walking like this, following the herd anymore, right? We've taken off our blinders and we're like, whoa, whoa, I see this and I see this and I see this and I see this. I'm not following that line anymore. I'm not walking aimlessly there, right? We've expanded consciousness. And we have to keep expanding our consciousness. And to do that, will you practice with me this week? Will you practice living in 10-second increments? 10 seconds, meaning that you're willing to not pull that stuff in. For 10 seconds, you're willing to be uber, uber radically present with nothing else in that 10 seconds. No worry, no fear, right? Just what's here, right now. Earlier, I'm pretty active on TikTok. I was doing a little short video about this, and my dog came up and he started licking me and hugging me, and he just wanted to play. And I was doing this video about 10 seconds. I was like, well, I guess in this 10 seconds, this is what's present, and I just engulfed him and played with him. So, what would you allow? What magic would you allow in the 10 seconds of radical presence, right? Or would you push it away because you have an agenda that was made in the past? So a lot of times we get, this kind of came to me too after doing that TikTok, is that, or as I was speaking, I was like, I've got to embrace my dog here because I'm talking about radical presence and this is what's present, right? A lot of times we can start our day, especially a Monday. Today, I'm doing this video on a Monday. We can have an agenda, right? We can even, have a message we want to give people. It's a certain agenda. But if that agenda was made 5 minutes, even just 5 minutes ago, and we're doing something right now in this 10 seconds that shifts us into something else, but we're holding tight to the agenda, we're living in the past. We're living in a past reality. So this is what I'm talking about with radical presence. Would you be willing to have the aha moments and let them lead to what you're doing, but let the next aha moment come in the present, even if it's happening during the agenda of the past that got you to this aha moment? Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have an aha moment that leads you to this 10 seconds, but don't live this 10 seconds from that past aha moment. Let's have this aha moment, right? So guys, let's do this together. Let's do this together. Let's live in 10-second increments. And in each 10 seconds, take a pause, breathe. What's next, right? Or maybe every hour we take 10 seconds for actual radical presence. We're not going to bring that stuff in there, right? We're just going to breathe. What's next? Here we are. And even asking what next, that's living in like a future. So just breathe. Here I am. It's pretty. Oh, that 10 seconds. Now the next one. What's here? Oh, this feels soft. And it'll just take you. So radical presence gives us a radical expanding of consciousness. And that's what's required right now on the planet. And that's what's happening with the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening is like, think about everyone's a popcorn kernel, and everyone's in the bowl or in the pot, right, with the oil, and it's simmering. And you notice that popcorn kernels all don't pop at the same time, do they? Some pop, there's always the one that pops first, right? And then all of a sudden, after 5 minutes, there's a few single pops, and then all of a sudden, there's ones that are all popping at the same time. That's kind of what's happening. That's what's happening with our Great Awakening. Everyone's popping into awakening. And what is awakening? It's just that creating that witness. They're peeling away from themselves and they're looking in. They've taken off their goggles, they're looking in, and they have a sense that there's something bigger going on, that they're part of something bigger. And then that starts like the seeking, right? And that starts the releasing of dense energy. That's the awakening process. Now, a lot of people talk about the awakening process. What was your moment, right? And they talked about the popcorn. Maybe there's the moment was that you popped, right? What made you just pop? But I'm 50 now, and I popped probably at 8 years old, asking questions about God, seeking what's going on. I want to be happier. I know there's something else going on. So when people say, like, what was your awakening moment? Maybe it was at 8 when I started asking those questions, but really, guys, expanding consciousness is a process and a journey, right? And some would say that we're expanding consciousness even when we haven't had our awakened moment, because, right, if you're a kernel in there and you're in the oil and the heat is shimmering and you're kind of doing this, like, something brought you to that moment, something brought you to the oil, something brought you to the pot. So even like when we popped into awakening, something else was at play underneath all that too. So, was it a future part of ourselves? Was it a past part of ourselves that's kind of lining things up? Who knows? I mean, I've heard so many different things in the past around awakening and about ascension and about our reality, and that there's no time at all. Here we are talking about 10-second increments, and some people say there's absolutely no time. And there isn't any time aside from this 3D reality, but that when we talk about past lives and parallel universes, like everything's just kind of stacked and happening all at once in different frequencies. It's just probably something our human brain cannot wrap around. But for our purposes today, to get super present, to help us create more of that witness body, to create more of expanded consciousness in our realities, let's try this. Let's try this 10-second practice. So set your alarm for every hour. And every hour when you hear that alarm, just stop what you're doing and put the bags from the past and the future out there here and just say for 10 seconds, if this was my last 10 seconds on earth, how would I do this? What would I do? Who would I be? And practice that. Okay? You in? Let me see a high five. All right, beautiful beings. Let's practice releasing our pain body, being super present, expanding consciousness. Thank you. Thank you so much for who you be and for all the light and consciousness you're bringing to the planet at this time in history. Like, just thank you. And if you would like to learn how to get more present and learn more about your vibrational gap and do it with vocal toning, I just launched a new program called Vocal Toning Through Manifesting. And it's all about managing your vibrational gap through toning and chakra toning and the emotional guidance scale and just lots of fun stuff. So I will put that in the description. The link is in the descriptions. And by all means, be sure to join the tribe every Friday live. I'll see you tomorrow.